Welcome back. Time now for the word on Wall Street. Top investors watching your money. Joining me now is Dominari Securities CEO Kyle Wool. Also with us is Adam Johnson this morning. Kyle, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. We're going to market with a firmer tone this morning, kicking off a holiday-shortened week. Investors are looking to potential Santa Claus rally after a volatile December, with all three major indices higher this morning. The Nasdaq's up about 0.5%, and of course, all three averages higher on Friday. The Nasdaq was up 301 on Friday, 1.33%. Markets had a great year so far, led, of course, by an AI-powered rally. Take a look at these numbers for 25. The Nasdaq is up better than 20% for 2025. The S&P 500 up 16%, and the Dow up 13%, as investors look at President Trump's agenda and expect a stronger economy and market. Kyle, what's your outlook for the new year?
Yeah, I'm very bullish for the new year. I think we had a great year last year, NASDAQ up 20%, but I do think the new year is going to be the year of the mega IPO. I think we haven't seen mega IPOs since Alibaba and since Saudi Aramco, but you're seeing announcements already from Elon Musk that he's saying he might take SpaceX public, and he's going to do it. They're talking about a $1.5 trillion valuation. You're also looking at companies like OpenAI and Anthropic talking about an IPO. Now, why is that? Because there is so much money that's going into the data center build out and also in rockets in space right now. And again, they can continue to raise money from the private markets, but historically, the reason people go public is to access the capital markets. And I think you're going to see a bonanza of AI and space and critical resource IPOs this year. Even the other day, Cerebras System just filed their S1. I think it's coming this year, Maria. It's been a few years, but I think it's coming.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're right. We are looking at a lot of IPOs potential for the new year. How do you want to be positioned if you are expecting a big IPO season?
I would be long the NASDAQ. I would be long technology. I think right now you have a very favorable Fed governor coming in. I don't know who he's going to be, but it's going to be someone who's more accommodative. And then there's an old saying on Wall Street, you don't fight the Fed. And if interest rates are coming down, we've already seen some gold's up 70%. You've got silver up 120%. You have Bitcoin down a little bit. I'd probably be a buyer of Bitcoin because I think things always revert to the mean, especially if interest rates are coming down. But I'd be long tech. And I'd be waiting for these IPOs. I think with that amount of excitement, you'll have Main Street start to participate even more in the technology markets, which is great for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about setting the stage for potential IPO rebound in 2026, why do you think we're going to see so many? I mean, I guess during the government shutdown, we had lots of deals that were supposed to come, but then they were put on the shelf. The SEC was closed. Now bankers are talking about a potentially blockbuster pipeline. You mentioned a couple. Don't forget SpaceX moving ahead with plans to raise more than $30 billion. Anthropic considering going public next year. There's buzz around OpenAI. That could rank as one of the largest public offerings ever, though CEO Sam Altman says he's not excited about taking the company public right now. But Kyle, would you be poised to buy any of these big deals, these big names?
100%. I think when you look at AI and the whole AI verse, and we've talked about this on your show many times, it's not just the data centers, it's the picks and shovels around the data centers. You saw what happened with True Social the other day. They brought in TAE Industry Technologies, which is a nuclear fusion company. I think it's not just going to be the IPOs. I think you will see reverse mergers like that. And I also think you have billions and hundreds of billions of dollars in the SPAC market. They're all looking for a target. These companies, if they go public, and you can get them public, I think a lot of them will trade higher. I don't think it's the beginning of the space revolution. There's many other companies besides SpaceX, like Axiom and Vast, that are also talking about accessing the capital markets. So I think places to look for 2026, which is your original question, I think we look at space and rocketry. I think we look at critical rare earth and resources. And I think we look at the AI verse beyond just the data center. And I think that's where the money will be going. And into the energy, the SMRs or TAE industries that will power these data centers. I'm excited about 2026.
Yeah, and Adam, when you're looking at all these big deals and all of the things that the Treasury is doing, you know, I asked Secretary Scott Bessent, how is he going to get all this stuff done? And is it fair to say that the Fannie Mae deal is off the table for now? Because remember, they were supposed to take Fannie Mae public by the end of this year, maybe early first quarter. And now he's talking about doing so much. So I just made an assumption. I said, is this off the table? He said no. that it is still on the table. So at some point in 26, we'll likely see something happen with Fannie Mae, but I don't expect it in the first quarter. Your thoughts on what Kyle is talking about, this robust IPO season to come?
Well, when you see big companies coming to market, that bodes well for the market in general, right? Because companies don't actually access the public markets unless they think that there is buying interest. So for Elon Musk to say he's going to bring SpaceX public at a $1.5 trillion valuation, that'll make it the 15th largest company in the world. I mean, that's incredible. It's also a very strong stamp of approval that the capital markets are alive and well, and that bodes well for everybody. The one caution, I would say, with SpaceX, and I do think it'll be way oversubscribed. Everyone's going to want a piece of that. And by the way, if you own Google, you already get a piece of it because Google owns 7% of SpaceX. But my one caution is that if they really bring SpaceX public at $1.5 trillion, with only about 25 or 30 billion in annual sales, that means this company is going to be trading at 60 to 70 times sales. And, you know, I talk about Palantir being in a bubble at 75 times sales. Well, all of a sudden, we're going to have a new IPO at pretty much the same valuation. So these are lofty, lofty numbers. That's my one caution. I'd like to see them save a little something for the aftermarket. I hope they don't, you know, blow the whole thing right on the open because, you know, you need to make it attractive for people like me to come in and buy after it prices. You need it to make it attractive in the open market.
But you don't think NVIDIA at $5 trillion market valuation is excessive?
Well, no, because they have the earnings to back it up. So not only do they have revenues, they actually have earnings. What a concept, right?
Yeah.
They're profitable. SpaceX doesn't have earnings. They just have revenues. So you're not buying earnings. At NVIDIA, given where it's trading right now and the fact that they're growing earnings anywhere from 50 to 60%, and that, by the way, doesn't even include sales to China, NVIDIA's trading at like 25 times earnings. It's cheap, Maria.
Okay.
It may be a $5 trillion valuation, but they have the sales and the earnings to back it up, which means it's actually trading at a very attractive multiple, barely more expensive than the S&P 500.
That is wild to see a $5 trillion company. It's not $5 trillion now. It's a little off of that, but it did hit that a month ago. Kyle, good to see you. Have a very nice Merry Christmas and a happy holiday. We will see you soon. Adam, you're with us all morning long, and we're grateful.